Is negative energy in your mind creating struggle in your life? In this video, you'll learn 5 steps to removing negative energy from your mind. I'm Briana Borten, and I help people awaken to their highest selves. For support in creating your sacred life, reaching your potential, and expanding your consciousness, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell to get alerted when I post a new video every Monday. I've taught these 5 steps with hundreds of clients to help them remove negative energy from their thinking. One in particular comes to mind that used these steps and was able to shift her negative mindset so dramatically that her whole life changed. Her relationships, her work, her body. Our minds are powerful, and when they're steeped in negative energy, we suffer. But no longer. It's time to take the steps to remove negative energy from your mind. So let's get to those 5 steps. So the first step is to turn your attention toward the negativity, the fear, the gunk that's polluting your mind without any judgment. Notice it without having to repel or condemn it. Because here's the thing, we all have negativity that runs through our mind, but when we are unwilling to look at it, we start to allow it to be kind of like this little gremlin that's chasing us around, whether we notice it or not. If we're unwilling to look at those negative thoughts, if we're unwilling to look at our fears, if we're unwilling to even notice that there is gunk in there that's polluting our minds, then we're unable to start actually addressing it. So the first step really does require that we become aware, that we turn our attention toward it, and that we open ourselves to seeing it without any judgment. So when we start to judge the ways in which we have negativity or fear about ourselves, about others, about the world, when we judge the fact that we're judging, or when we judge the fact that we have these thoughts, then we start to really stop ourselves from being able to explore them. It's not that we have to get into every single detail of every one and look where it came from. It really can be simply noticing. Oh, hey, that's a negative thought that I'm having around this situation. Or perhaps it's that you are having a negative thought about a person. And if we don't question it, if we don't notice it and just say, that's interesting, then we can start to just allow that to live our lives for us and continue to pollute our minds with negativity. When we can start to see what's happening in our bodies as more like a habit that we have, like, oh, I'm noticing that in my body, I'm feeling that in my body, then we're really able to start making different kinds of decisions and to catch ourselves in those moments of contraction. So notice that sensation or of that pattern in your body when you have that negative thought or negative belief or judgment or pain come into your mind. So noticing it first, which was the first step, and then feeling it. So feeling it, it might feel like a tightening or a contraction or a heaviness, and see if you can spend time with just the sensation without having to label it as right or wrong. Just noticing what's going on in your body when you start to notice that negativity. Then spend time there feeling that sensation, allowing it wholly and completely, not needing to shut it down, not needing to minimize it, not needing to fix it, just simply allowing it and being with it. And that brings me to the third step. Create movement. Move your body, dance, run, whatever you need to do with the intention of releasing whatever is ready to be released. Or you could also talk it out with a like-minded friend. Talking is another way of moving energy with the intention of allowing it to be released. Not with the intention, and so many of us do this, we call up a friend and we say that we want to work through something, but really we're just trying to get validation. And that's a different step. It's something that you may want to do, but that's not what I'm talking about here. When you call a friend, a like-minded friend for this, actually tell them, my intention is to move this through. I just need to be able to vocalize it. Would you be willing to listen and hold space for me while I do that? You can also create movement through writing or creating something. You could create art, or you could cook a meal. You could write about it in your journal. All of these things are different ways of creating movement, which is really essential that when we start to notice the things that are going on in our bodies and we allow them and accept them, then we can start to move them, move it through our bodies, move it out, because these bodies, as I said, are so amazing. We can use them as a tool to create movement in our mind for the clearing to start to happen. In the comments below, I'd love for you to share with me your favorite way to create movement. Is it dance? Is it running? Is it writing, journaling? Is it creating food? Or maybe it's like decorating your house, whatever it takes to create movement. I would love to hear it in the comments. The fourth step is to start to get perspective of the whole of what's going on in your life and in the world. And this really takes practice to move yourself from maybe a contracted negative thought pattern into a more expansive ability to have different perspective. And so if the first couple times that you try to do this, you fail, just don't be hard on yourself. This is really normal, that it's challenging when we're not used to it. It's like creating a new habit. It's always going to be a little bit challenging, but I promise you, it's so incredibly worth it. So actually practicing shifting your perspective. And you might start with some smaller type things, like say you're running late to work and you're feeling super stressed and you're having all of this constriction and you're having negative thoughts run through your mind, like I'm always late, nobody likes me, blah, 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 whatever goes on in your mind. Then see if you can simply shift. Take a deep breath. Yeah, I'm running late and I'm going to get there and I'll clean it up when I get there. In the meantime, I might as well turn my attention to what's going on right now. Right now, I'm healthy, I'm safe, I'm driving in a beautiful car, whatever it is. Start to shift your attention to what's actually happening, which is actually shouldn't be that hard for us as humans, but it really is. So practice and practice and practice, and forgive yourself when it's hard and love yourself through it. And then start to use your words internally in your mind to yourself and externally to create positive shifts. So one of the ways in which we tend to relate to each other and also tend to relate to ourselves is through drama and discord and the things that are not going right in life. And so we can tend to want to find others and be with them in a way that actually isn't super uplifting. And just see if you can just start to change that a little bit for yourself, using your words in a positive way. So even if it's, say, among your coworkers and you all just get this big assignment, right? There can be a tendency to be like, oh, more work. It's so hard. Whatever it is. If that's the norm in your community culture at work, see if you can be the shift. See if you can say, this is going to be a fun challenge. Like, I wonder how we're going to make this happen. And let's remember why we're doing this, guys. It could be really fun. And just starting to shift little things about your wording. And actually our wording internally is almost always harder to shift because we're often not totally listening. It's happening, but we're not really paying attention. And so you might actually have to turn up the volume on what's going on in your internal vocalization as it is. So just starting to notice, what is it that I'm currently saying to myself? Is it generally positive or is it generally negative? Or maybe it's somewhere in between. But see if you can make little shifts to being more positive, even having little sticky notes on your mirror or around wherever you're going to be to remind yourself that you're doing good work, that you're shifting and changing all of the time, that you are here for a reason, that you are potent and powerful, and that the world needs you. These are really useful reminders to help us shift our internal thinking. And the fifth step is to be grateful and to get in service to others. So often people that are really mired in negativity and negative energy in their minds try to do all the solving of getting out of that internally. It's all happening in here. But really, a big part of how we can actually shift that is to get out of here and move into the world and really get into service to people that need it. Being so grateful for what you have, making lists about what you're grateful for every day, but not just listing it, feeling it. So often I hear people talk about writing their gratitudes or whatever, and what I see, and like no judgment, but what I see a lot is people writing down the things they're grateful for and just making a list. When really there's such an opportunity to feel grateful in that moment. Like actually embody gratitude. How embodied can you make gratitude in your being right now? So get grateful, not just be grateful, but feel grateful, embody gratitude, and then move that out into the world in service in whatever way works for you. These steps will help remove negative energy from your mind, so start today. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention how essential meditation is to the equation. All of these steps become easier and more space in your mind opens up when you meditate regularly. If this isn't already a part of your life, there's no time like the present to start. I've created a free 5-minute grounding meditation that you can do right now. It's free and the link is below. So try it. Get started now. If you like this video, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. I also think you would love this video on awakening your spiritual consciousness and this video about connecting to your inner power. Check them out. Let me know what you think. Sending you so much love.